Hi, and welcome to NT 201 this term. In this welcome video, I want to just take a few minutes to walk you through the course layout and introduce you briefly to some of the materials that we'll use for the course. What we're looking at here is the home page of our NT 201 course in Blackboard. Notice not a whole lot here, but you do have a link to the announcements page, and so if you click on that link, that'll take you to the announcements section of the course. While we're here, I just want to point out something related to NetLab, which is one of the resources we'll use in this course. Right here is a link to a video on using NetLab for this course, so you want to make sure you watch that. Here is a link to NetLab and some information about contacting IT support if you need assistance with logging in or something. Of course, they're not going to help you with course materials. You'll need to contact either myself or the academic coach for that. But if you're having trouble, technical problems like not being able to log in, or something's just not functioning right with respect to NetLab, then you can contact IT support for that. The next thing I want to point out is the README First section. It's just kind of an introduction to this new course layout. If you've not had a course that is laid out as this one is. In the syllabus and info section, you have the course syllabus, and you have faculty information, which has some information about me, including my contact information. Here, of course, is a link to the discussion board. If you are familiar with this course layout, then you're familiar with how the discussion board is laid out in this course. You'll click on the link, and essentially there's only one thread, so you'll click on the main thread when you're doing your initial post, and you'll do your initial post as a reply to that main thread. The next section here is the Submit Assignments and Assessment sections. This is where you will go when you need to submit an assignment. Notice first off that the first section here is on NetLab. There are some instructions here. Be sure to look over these two attached documents. There's information there about logging in for the first time, and then there's a quick little video here that will introduce you to some things in NetLab. Down below that, you'll also see, again, here is the information about logging in for the first time. If you've had another course with NetLab, for instance, if you took NT 181 last term, then you already have a NetLab account, and you can just use that, that user account and password to log in. Okay, just scrolling down, continuing in this Submit Assignments Assessment section, this is where you'll come to submit all your assignments. Notice we have the Unit 1 assignment, Unit 2, Unit 3, and so on. Okay, and notice here in the Unit 1 assignment that you have two documents that are attached. And you may have noticed as I scrolled down to the others, there was only a single document, but I'll get that updated here shortly. There will be, for each assignment, two documents that are attached. The first document is the lab guide. So you'll want to start out by opening that lab guide up. In the first week, we have part of the assignment that's just done in a Word document, but this is unusual. The rest of the course, you'll pretty much be doing everything inside of NetLab. But so you'll want to complete the first part of this Word document, and then the second part of the assignment involves some activities that you have to complete in the two textbook chapters that we cover. Again, these activities are in your textbook. So as you scroll down and you look through here, you'll notice that it tells you the first activity here that you've got to complete. Notice that you're always instructed to complete the entire activity. And anytime there's something important to be noted, it'll be noted here in red. Sometimes it's just an FYI kind of thing, like this is, and sometimes there could be a problem with an instruction in the textbook, and I've given you some information to correct that. Each time you see a bullet point, that's going to be a screenshot that you have to get unless it states otherwise. So in this first activity, there are going to be 2 screenshots that you're going to have to get in order to prove that you completed the activity. Okay, and then activity 1.6 is the second activity. Notice there's only 1 screenshot for it. And then after that, you move on to the activities in chapter 4. Most of the time, the very first activity in the chapter just tells you to reset your virtual environment. Since we're using NetLab and not something like VirtualBox, you don't have to worry about that activity. Okay, so the second activity that you have to complete in this first assignment in week 1 here, excuse me, is activity 4.2, and that's installing and authorizing a DHCP server. This first note in red here is just kind of an FYI thing. Just letting you know that with PowerShell, it's very important that you pay attention to both the spelling and the spacing as far as the commands in the textbook. Notice here there's another note, and this is an adjustment that you have to make to the assignment instructions. There's something that you'll need to do, and I'll let you read through that. And then there's only a single screenshot that has to be done for this activity. And then you move on to the next activity. Notice there are 3 screenshots required there. And then activity 4.4, there's 1 screenshot required. Activity 4.5, notice there's an additional or an adjustment there to the instructions, and you only have a single screenshot required. At the bottom of each assignment, there'll be a statement giving you the total number of screenshots that are required for that assignment, so make sure that you have all of the correct screenshots and that you have the correct number. Okay, the other document that's going to be attached to every assignment for this term is the lab guide with examples. Okay, so I'm going to open that up, and you'll want to open that up as you're completing your assignments as well. There's nothing pertaining to this in the first part of the assignment, but as you scroll down to the activities, notice that there is a example of the screenshot that you're required to get. It has a do not copy watermark on there, so you can't actually just copy this. You've got to actually go through the lab, complete it yourself, and get your own screenshot. But this document here shows you exactly what your screenshot should look like. And again, aside from the do not copy watermark, your screenshot should look identical to what is provided in the document. So notice here's the example for the second screenshot here. Then under activity 1.6, here's an example of the screenshot required there. And 4.2, here's an example of the screenshot required there. So again, this document shows you exactly what your screenshots should look like. So you'll want to open this document up and be sure to kind of refer back to it as you're doing your labs and getting your screenshots. Okay, and really, I guess the only other thing to point out, again, this has been the submit assignments and assessments section that we're looking at. The only other thing to point out here are your units, and these units actually have your learning materials and kind of instructions for getting through the week. Notice that Unit 1, our topics are TCP/IP and DHCP, and this will kind of walk you through the requirements as far as your reading, and there'll be some videos that will be helpful to you, and each section is broken up by the topic that's being addressed. Noticed some additional reading there, and you just continue to scroll down through those sections, and you'll have videos and various other learning resources. As you continue to scroll down, you'll, as you see here, is more as far as reading. And once you get through all of the topics, different topic sections, the next thing you'll see is the Unit 1 discussion. And you can't actually do anything here with that. It's just letting you know about it. You actually have to go up to the link here to the discussion board to complete that. And then as we scroll down, you'll see information about your assignments as well. Again, you can't do anything pertaining to those here. It's just kind of a reference point for you. But when you are ready to actually do the assignments, you'll go to the Submit Assignment section, download your documents, complete the assignment, and use the assignment links there to upload your documents. Okay, and the last thing I want to point out, if you need assistance in this course, of course, if it's a quick question or something, I have office hours. You can shoot me an email. But if you find yourself needing, a little more assistance than, beyond just a couple of questions or something, or you're needing help, you find you're having trouble getting through assignments and stuff, you can always reach out to the academic coach in the course. Okay, so that's about all I need to cover here in this video. Again, just refer first to the announcements page this week, and make sure you look over everything there, and just let me know if you run into any questions.